Army Sergeant Bowe Bergdahl made his first appearance in front of a military judge at Fort Bragg today on charges he deserted his post in Afghanistan. He did not enter a plea and did not decide whether he wants to face a court-martial. WNCN's David Hurst was in the courtroom and reports with more.
Army Sergeant Bowe Bergdahl and his attorney left the military court Tuesday morning without making a statement or taking questions. In court, Bergdahl was arraigned on charges of desertion and misbehavior before the enemy. The charges stem from Bergdahl leaving his post in Afghanistan in 2009. The Taliban held him captive for 5 years, and he was freed after the U.S. released 5 Taliban detainees in a controversial prisoner swap. On Tuesday, the Army Sergeant chose not to enter a plea and did not make a decision on whether he wanted a jury of soldiers to decide his case or a judge.
Sergeant Bergdahl deferred all of these decisions to a later hearing.
Bergdahl was dressed in a military uniform and looked forward for most of the hearing. The only times he spoke was when he responded to the judge's questions with a yes, sir, or a no, sir.
It's unusual for them to actually enter a plea form right off the bat.
Greg Alakakin is a military law attorney in Fayetteville. He says in most cases the defense defers these decisions because of potential plea negotiations, but says the prosecution may be hesitant to offer a plea deal in this case.
They might feel that justice must be served by a trial and would be disinclined to offer him a plea that he might be inclined to accept.
And since it's a complicated case with a lot of facts and a lot of witnesses, he says it's likely the beginning of what could be a long process.
Ultimately, it's going to be Sergeant Bergdahl's decision how he wants to have his case heard and in front of who he wants to have it heard. And he just will make that decision at a later time.
Bergdahl's next court date is scheduled for January 12th. That will also be held here at the Fort Bragg courtroom. Reporting from Fort Bragg, David Hurst, WNCN News.